How's it going, everyone? I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and welcome back to part 2 of feelings that we forget are normal. I just want to say quickly thank you for all the support on the recent videos, and just a quick reminder, if you guys have anything going on in your life right now that you want me to talk about or you want me to cover, always feel free to let me know in the comment section and I'll do my best to make a video on it. So without further ado, let's get into today's feelings that we forget are normal. The first one we're going to get into today is knowing that our role is switching all the time. And the feeling that our role in life is switching can happen in a number of different ways. Realizing it is a real crucial step in navigating life's journey, and things can change quickly or things can slowly change and take place over time. And sometimes we're no longer the partner of that person we thought we were going to be a partner of. Sometimes we're no longer in the career field that we thought we were going to be a part of. And, understanding that our roles in life are not fixed and are kind of fluid and dynamic. This way we can better handle transition periods and, it continue to grow and we can continue to move forward. Next one we're going to talk about is the fear of, or the feeling of, that we're missing out on something in life. And this one's been quite a big one in my life in the last couple of years. As I mentioned in the last video, quite a few of my friends have started to settle down and they've started to get married. And unfortunately for me, as someone who lives the other side of the world to these guys, I've not been able to attend any of their weddings. And it makes me feel really down that I wasn't able to be part of my best friend's day. And it sucks, and it's part of the sacrifice of living the other side of the world. And it's the thing I realized that when I live this far away, these are the kind of things that I will miss out on. And I feel guilty about it, even though my holiday is already allotted to me and I don't get to choose when I take a holiday as such. Otherwise I would be back there and I would be doing it. So often we go through life and we get the feeling that we're missing out on something. And social media doesn't really help us in this aspect. It's so easy to see other people doing cool things or cool places, and we see people's highlight reels, and we often feel like we're missing something or we're missing out on something cool. Up next, we have the feeling that we wish we could turn back time, or we wish we could go back in time. And I know for me, I often sometimes daydream and wish I could go back and relive certain moments of my life again. And sometimes wish that I could redo a situation. And although I'm really happy with my journey and I don't think I'd want to change it because I learned so much along the way, I wish there was times like in school that I'd probably paid attention more, or maybe I wasn't so cheeky to my teachers and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that I wish I could do, but at the time just didn't have the maturity to do it. And the reason sometimes that we end up screwing things or bad things happen to us is that it's meant for us to become better people, right? And we have to learn from things. So if you're sat there thinking about you wishing you could turn back time and do things differently, well, unfortunately we can't, right? All we can control is the right now, and all we can do is learn from past situations and things we've done bad and make sure that we don't do the same again. Up next, we have feeling low and feeling sad some days. Now, it doesn't even have to be for a particular reason. I often sometimes can think myself into a bad mood just for no reason. I think I'm someone who has loud thoughts, and sometimes if I'm not occupied and if I'm not keeping my brain occupied, sometimes bad thoughts can come creeping in and it just starts to drag me down for no particular reason. And maybe some of you guys have had a bad day at school, or maybe you've had a bad day at work, you've had an argument with someone, and you just feel low and you just feel sad. And one thing that's definitely helped me over the last couple of years is when I arrive home to my house, I always try to leave anything bad that happened that day at the door. And as soon as I open my door and come into my home, I make sure that I've tried to forget everything bad that's happened, leave it at the door, and take a big deep sigh and a big deep breath and empty out all my problems, walk in the door, and then start afresh. And that way we're not bringing our problems home with us, right? How many times have you guys came home from somewhere and you've let that thing that's happened to you that day affect something in the evening, whether it's with a partner or whether it's with parents. Often we just take our baggage home with us and then we kind of project it onto other people. So one thing that you could do to help with that is to just tell yourself when you get to the front door, you leave it out, or maybe you just want to talk to your partner about it. That's fine too. You can talk it out, but just try to leave all those bad feelings at the door. And as soon as you close the door, because your home is your sanctuary, right? You want to make it your safe space, the place where you can go and you can relax and feel happy and not think about anything negative. So give that a try and let me know how you get on. Lastly, today we have the feeling that we missed loved ones, or we just missed someone in general in life, and it could be anyone really. Maybe it's someone that's unfortunately passed away, or maybe it's someone that was in your life and is no longer in your life. And even if you have moved on from that person, you can still miss them from time to time. I often wish that I could speak and see my grandmother again. She passed away when I was 16 years old, and at that age I wasn't really emotionally ready to have like a proper conversation with her, and that's something I wish I could have. I wish I could talk to her as the person I am now and talk to her about life, but unfortunately I will never get the chance to do that. So if there's any of you out there who have, if that rings true to you in any way, shape or form, then make sure you speak to them today, or make sure you reach out to them. And for those of you that just miss someone who's no longer in your life, just accept that it can happen. I've been single from my ex now for like a year and a half, and there are sometimes I'm lonely, and sometimes I think I miss her, but I am over this person. You just kind of miss that company and you miss the things you used to do, and it's completely normal, it's completely okay. And in this life there's so many feelings that we often wonder why we feel that way, and these last two videos I've made to make you guys hope and understand that these feelings that you have are completely normal, and you don't need to feel guilty about them, and you don't need to feel sad about them. Everybody in life is feeling these feelings, even if you don't know that they are, and we're all going through the same things. So hang in there, guys. I hope this week coming up is a great week in life for you. Make sure you make the most of it. I'll have a new video out in the middle of the week at some point, and yeah, wish you guys the best. Peace.